The story of country flags. When a country obtains independence, one of the first rites of passage is raising a national flag. Each one provides a different story about the history and culture of the country. But flags are typically created to represent a country's history and legacy, not just to look attractive in the breeze. So, want to discover the story behind the world's most recognizable and fascinating flags? Then join us here on Country Facts. And before we begin, please do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. First on our list, we have the U.S.A. On June 14, 1777, a law was passed by the Continental Congress that made a flag for the new country. The resolution said, "Resolved, that the flag of the United States have 13 red and white stripes that alternate, and 13 white stars on a blue field that represent a new constellation." President Harry S. Truman declared June 14th to be Flag Day on August 3, 1949. The history of our flag is just as interesting as the history of the United States. It has survived wars, been the subject of songs, and changed as the country it represented has grown. No one knows where the first American flag came from. Some historians think that Francis Hopkinson, a congressman from New Jersey, designed it, and that Betsy Ross, a seamstress from Philadelphia, made it. A sea captain from Massachusetts named William Driver gave a big 10 by 17-foot flag the name Old Glory. Driver's flag is said to have been damaged so many times during the Civil War that it became a common name for all American flags. Once the war was over, Driver was able to fly the flag over the Tennessee State House. The flag is one of the most important items in the National Museum of American History. With permission from the Smithsonian, it was last shown in Tennessee at an exhibition in 2006. Between 1777 and 1960, Congress passed a number of laws that changed the shape, design, and arrangement of the flag and made it possible for new stars and stripes to be added for each new state. Today, the flag has 13 horizontal stripes, 7 of which are red and 6 of which are white. The stripes stand for the 13 original colonies, and the stars stand for the 50 states that are now a part of the Union. The colors of the flag also mean something. Red stands for bravery and strength, white for purity and innocence, and blue for watchfulness, persistence, and justice. Second, we have Canada. The formation of the Canadian Federation in 1867 was not accompanied by the development of a national flag. Although Queen Victoria was awarded a coat of arms in 1868, the Imperial Union Jack and other British flags were deemed acceptable. The arms of the 4 original provinces, Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia, were combined to form the Canadian Shield. This shield was used as a badge on the British Red Flag in 1892, which served as a special civil ensign for Canadian warships. In 1921, Canada was granted a distinctive new coat of arms which quartered the insignia of England, Scotland, Ireland, and France with 3 green maple leaves on a silver backdrop. 3 years later, its shield replaced the 1868 original on Canadian ensigns. In 1957, a reworked artistic version used red maple leaves instead of green to represent the country's maturity. Following World War II, there was a surge in demand for a distinctive Canadian flag. While the Canadian Red Ensign was approved for use on government buildings and as a national flag in other countries, many people believed it did not adequately represent the specific local culture and customs. Following Prime Minister Lester B. Pearson's vow that Canada will have its own national flag by the Centennial of Confederation in 1967, a heated discussion erupted in 1964. Months of public and parliamentary debate resulted in the approval of the new maple leaf flag, which became official on February 15, 1965 by royal proclamation and is currently widely embraced by the Canadian population. Since at least 1868, the maple leaf has been a national symbol, and its crimson color has been interpreted as a sign of Canadian sacrifice during World War I. Pearson's original flag design included 3 maple leaves on a white background with narrow blue vertical stripes at either end. Several people have been credited with ideas that led to the final design, which expanded the stripes and changed them to red to accentuate the national colors. Next, we have Mexico. When Mexico was recognized as a sovereign nation in 1821, the first national flag was established. The tricolor of green, white, and red was used on the flag, with the national coat of arms in the center. A few alterations were made to the design over the years, and the current national flag that we all know was adopted on September 16, 1968. The Mexican bandera's characteristic hues are rich with symbolism. Here's a basic rundown of what they use to represent. The green strip signifies the Mexican independence movement, which birthed the country. The white stripe symbolized the Catholic faith, which was the country's official religion, and the red stripe symbolized the Spaniards who joined the fight for Mexican independence. Today, such connotations have evolved slightly. In the current day, green represents optimism and victory, white represents togetherness, and red honors the national heroes who have battled for Mexico throughout the years. The most prominent aspect of the Mexican flag is its center. It's a large golden eagle perched atop a prickly pear cactus with a snake in its beak and talons. What is the significance of this imagery? It all stems from an Aztec tale. In ancient times, the gods promised the Aztecs that they would locate the right location for their city if they saw an eagle eating a serpent on a cactus. They came across such an eagle right in the middle of Mexico City's major plaza. The fourth we have is Greenland. Before 1983, Greenland had been ruled by Denmark since 1814. During this time, the flag was a red field with a white cross on it. The Danish flag still flies next to the Greenland flag. In 1973, a flag for Greenland was suggested. It had a green background with a white Nordic cross with blue edges, but it was never a done deal. Sven Tito Aksjon didn't suggest a second Greenland flag that was taken seriously until 1984. It had a green background with a white Nordic cross, and when Greenland got its independence, the new flag barely beat out the old one. After Greenland gained independence in 1985, Chu Christensen made a new flag for the country. It has a red and white horizontal bicolor with a counter-changed disc that is off-center. People in the area call it Urfalserput, which means our flag. Our last one we have is Russia. Tsar Peter I the Great had grand ambitions for Russia's modernization. As a part of that program, he traveled to the Netherlands to learn about the most innovative shipbuilding principles and procedures. In 1699, he picked a flag for trade ships that mirrored the Dutch red, white, blue tricolor. The Russian flag differed only in that the stripes were oriented white, blue, red. Traditional Russian symbolism is occasionally assigned to these colors. One such interpretation recalls the red shield of the Grand Principality of Moscow, with its image of St. George clothed in blue and riding on a white horse. The quartered flag of white and crimson with a blue cross flown on the first Russian warship, the Oriol, in 1667 was also mentioned. The new flag was so popular that during the 19th century, the black, orange, white tricolor that the Tsars attempted to impose as a national flag on land failed miserably and was eventually abandoned. The flag was altered shortly after the outbreak of World War I by the inclusion of a golden yellow canton bearing the imperial arms as a symbol of solidarity between the governing family and the Russian people. All Russian flags throughout the Soviet era were based on the Red Banner, which had its origins in the French Revolution and potentially earlier peasant struggles. Following the Soviet Union's creation, the official state flag included a gold hammer, sickle, and gold-bordered red star in the top hoist corner. The Soviet Union's insignia was replaced when it disintegrated. Non-Russian lands conquered by Tsars and communist leaders gained independence, and the Russian Federation that remained reintroduced the white, blue, red Russian national flag. It became official on August 21, 1991, 4 months before the Soviet Union's formal disintegration. It's now universally accepted, however some parties prefer to use the red banner or even the black, orange, white tricolor. So this was all for today's video. Out of all the flags, which one do you find the most beautiful? Let us know in the comments below. And if you liked today's video, please check out more videos just like this one on our channel. And also subscribe to our channel and hit the like button for more updates.